CapeWorks. My name is Ron Hawes, and I will be your host for this show. This is the first in a news program, which is a new series of interviews with people that live on the Cape. And we all know it's very easy to live on the Cape, and it's a wonderful place to live. But finding work on the Cape sometimes is more challenging. So we'll be interviewing people and having them share their stories about how they started a business or the different jobs that they have on the Cape. And today we have a very exciting program consisting of a family of young entrepreneurs, and they have started a business called Kidco. And my guests are Taylor, Caden, Jade, Mason, Belleville. And I'm going to start the program by Taylor sharing with me and the audience what your ages are and what school you attend.
I am 15.
Okay.
My brother Caden is 13, and the twins Jade and Mason are 11.
Twins?
Yes.
Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
What is Kidco, and how did you come up with the idea of starting a business?
This past fall and winter of 2011 to 2012, we finished a unit study on business and investing. And as part of that unit and our final project, we had to actually start a business of our own. We had to decide of who would participate in the business and how we could all do something together. So we decided on creating, designing, and selling jewelry made out of Cape Cod beach rocks, since we had made some a few years ago. We got a lot of compliments on our necklaces, so we decided to use that as our idea on our new business. We knew that no two of our necklaces would be the same, so our creativity would be endless and the process would never be boring.
Where do you find your shells, and how do you make it all happen?
We find our rocks on the Bass River beaches right in Yarmouthport, and we collect them, and then we go home and rinse them off and put all of our designs and creations together and see what would work best, the charms with the rocks, and then we start making them.
Okay. How do you, I think we all over time have come up with ideas of starting a business, and then we sort of think about it. And we say, well, that's a lot of work. I don't know how I would do it. But congratulations to each of you for saying, okay, this is a business, and I think we can make it work. How did you define the roles of each of you and what each of you would be doing?
Well, since all of us have our different abilities and talents, we had to decide on what we could do so that we could each do something that wouldn't mess up
your school, and
yes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, you've got a lot of other activities with everything.
Right. So Mason took over the role of being the business manager, and he works with expenses, and he is in marketing.
Wow.
And he also created our website, which is www.kidco.biz.
You started the website.
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Caden is the head of marketing. I mean, head of manufacturing.
Okay.
And he creates the holes in all of our rocks, but we can't tell you because we use our super secret method.
I promise not to ask that question.
And he also finishes off the necklaces when we are done creating them. Jade is the sales manager, where his personality and great people skills shine.
That's evident.
And I am the head designer, and I'm in charge of direct sales, and I'm the best at interacting with people.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, do you have your parents get involved in the business, or do you run this business independent of them? How do you do that?
Well, they are definitely there to support us the whole way through our business. They've helped us fix our mistakes. They've given their opinion, and they've guided us through the different facets of creating and managing our own business. So we are never alone through it, and we are still kids, so we're constantly learning.
And you obviously have to have an inventory of shells, so you have to have enough. How do you do that? How do you get them? Where do you store them? What do you do there?
We try and go, when we go to the beach, we try and find a bunch of different rocks.
Okay.
And get a lot of them so that we don't have to keep going back and forth. And then we will also buy a bunch of beads and collect those over all the different stores that we go into. And then we'll make them, and when we take them to shows and sell a bunch, then we'll see how many more we have left and if we need more or not.
Now, how did you know you had something that people would buy? At what point in this process did you say, oh, wow, this is something that people will buy from us?
Well, at the beginning, we started making really simple necklaces like the boys have on, like those ones.
Okay.
And because we didn't know what customers would like yet. So when we brought them to our first retail locations, they all said that they would be looking for beachy charms
okay.
that go with the cape, because
Okay.
that's what a lot of people like, is the beachy jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a bunch of those kind of charms, fish and different kinds of beach charms, and those sold very quickly in the stores.
Now, when you say they sold in the stores, what stores were selling them now?
The one that was mainly selling most of our beach rocks, and we had 2 orders from them in less than a month, was the Alphabets Gifts on Route 6A.
Alphabets, okay,
Yes.
terrific. And now you've got this patent. I mean, is this name your name only, or how does that whole thing work?
Mason, you want to say that?
Well, when I was doing the website, as I was trying to get what the domain name would be, I looked up capeco.com, and there had already been in business. So there is another business called Kidco, but we made ours capeco.biz, and it's different products. They do baby products, and we do jewelry, so it's more different in that way.
Now, I'm looking at you, and I'm saying that I'm still having trouble getting through some of my emails on the computer and things like that. How did you get the background to start a website?
So we had help from an entrepreneur that we knew in Western Mass, and he told us what he used to make his website. So I went to it and we bought it, and then I just started self-teaching myself of how I do it, and I used their technical support many times.
Interesting. Now, when you went to this one store and they said, okay, we're going to display your products, and you said, what prices, how did you know how to price this product so that it would sell?
Well, we with the necklaces, so like if it was more plainer, we would do it lower, but if it had like more of the charms and the beads, and it depended on what it had with it, would tell the price of it.
Okay. Now, somebody has to put these together. How do you put all of this together, and how do you not say, hey, I did this yesterday, it's your turn? How do you handle the work process?
Well, since all of the rocks are different, you know that no 2 will ever be the same.
Right.
So we are all pretty creative in our designs, and since most of the mermaids or fish sell, then we'll look at our inventory and say, oh, we don't have any more of those charms, and we'll make more of those. But we'll still use different types of rope and different beads to put them together, and they're usually never the same. We've made, I think, one 3 times, but it's still different. We still use different colored beads.
So every time somebody buys something from you, it truly is personalized.
Yes. Oh yeah, we don't make another one of those necklaces that has sold.
So you started with this one company. Now, where did you go from there? Do you just work with that one company, or do you have more people or stores that you work with?
We are now in 10 stores.
You're in 10 stores.
Yes.
On the Cape?
There are 8 on the Cape from Centerville to Provincetown, and there are 2 that are in Western Mass, where we used to live.
Well, who does the marketing to these stores?
Well, I promised each of our business partners that as soon as Kidco's Creations were in 3 retail locations, I would contact the Cape Cod Times and the Kids on Cape to try and secure an interview for an article. And the Cape Cod Times enthusiastically replied, and they made a wonderful article on us and our business and our unique creations.
That's great, and it's nice that you're plugging the Cape Cod Times. It's very smart. I can see you're a good marketer. And what roles do the other 2 young men play here now?
I am manufacturer, and I drill the holes in the rocks.
And is there a particular type of drill that you have, or how do you do?
Well, we can't tell you that.
Ah, okay.
It's
That's
a
one of the
secret.
secrets. That's wonderful. Now, once you have your inventory, do you have a separate room in the house that you set these aside, or what do you do with all your inventory?
Well, we have them, the ones that we make, we put them separately, and then we just have all our supplies in one place. So it's mainly in one place, and then when we go to the shows and stuff, we put them on something that we can take in the car and we go to the show, and then we just set it up, and we take anything we didn't sell, we bring it back, and we just put it aside.
Okay. Now, how did you determine the roles that each of you would play? Because you're a composite of a small business, which is wonderful, and you've got an executive, and you've got different members of that executive committee. How did you decide the roles that each would play?
Well, we all tried every role.
Okay.
Except Mason, who just did the expenses. None of us did that. But we each tried doing the manufacturing and putting the holes in the rocks, the creative part, and the marketing. And it was pretty easy because everyone was really good at one of those roles. So I figured it out quickly.
So you decided which person fit the role and did the best one.
Yeah.
Now, what does your school think about? You have to be inspirational for other young people. What did your school say when they found out that you were starting this? What schools do you go to? And
Well, we are homeschooled.
you're homeschooled.
So of course our parents loved that we did
That's, that's the best.
But whenever we go to the shows, there are parents and a bunch of kids. And once they hear the story, it's nice because they bring their kids over to hear it too. And you know, they tell them that these kids started their own business, and the kids, you know, they'll smile. But you know, you shouldn't be afraid to try, and any kid can do it.
Yeah. Now, I know that you feel it's important for you. You're a 501 or 50C
Charity, yes.
Charity, okay. And you are concerned about other charities, and part of your profit goes to some of these other charities. Tell me about that.
So we decided that our charity would be Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
We did a search on the web of a bunch of different charities that would help kids, because kids helping kids made sense for our business.
Right.
So we picked the Make-A-Wish Foundation because we thought that was the best choice, and it was nice that you could give kids gifts or help them out with giving them an event while they're sick.
It's wonderful. I congratulate all of you that you're thinking about other children, and it's an important part of your life. And I congratulate you and your parents on that whole thing. Where do you see this business going? I mean, you're in 10 different locations. Do you have a goal to expand now, and what will that process be?
Well, we decided that when we go to Florida, we're not going to expand there yet, but we will be doing the custom orders. And you know, we just, like, sometimes we're just wearing our necklaces and just shopping, and people ask about them, and we tell about our business, and then they've ordered some. So that's what happened in Provincetown, and some have also happened through the Cape Cod Times and the radio.
Oh, so you're also on radio?
Yes, we were, after we did we were on the Cape Cod Times, the radio asked us to be interviewed by Cheryl Parks, their morning radio personality.
Wonderful.
And that was great.
Yeah. So this is a showcase of some of your examples.
Yes.
And the design phase of it is fascinating. Yes. Tell me a little bit about the design phase and how you come up with it.
Well, we use all different kinds of stuff, and we usually get the beads and stuff from craft stores and that stuff. And like Taylor said, they're all unique. So you try to think of different things
that you like, first of all, right?
Yeah, and it's not hard to think of different things. And it's not easy to create the same thing.
Right.
Like you think, oh, creating a new thing will be harder than creating something that you already made, but it's easier because you're like thinking of new things in your head, and it's.
And no, that's interesting. And now, if somebody came in with a large order and said, "I would like 100 of this," or "I would like 50 of this," are you in a position to say, "Okay, we could do that," or how do you work in that process?
Well, we could do that, but it would take us a while because unless, like, we had an order through our custom order link on our website. We've had 16 custom orders, and 10 of them we actually shipped to London. So we had to create 10 necklaces.
You shipped them to London?
Yes.
Now, how did London hear about your business? That's fascinating.
So it's a guy that my dad works with.
Okay.
And he heard about our business through our dad. And he really wanted to support kids, which was great. And he loved our story on our business. And he lives in London. So he wanted to support us and get 10 necklaces for his family and friends.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity. And I think other families and stores and locations that see this could gravitate to this very easy. Now you all, I know that you have homework. And just because you're homeschooled doesn't mean that you have more homework probably than otherwise. How do you allocate time to do your homework, have a life, and do this business?
Well, the business is part of our homework too, and homeschooling, because you're always learning about our business and investing. So we're always learning about money and how we could grow our business. So that is still part of school. But we paid a lot of attention to our business during the summertime, and right now we're doing a lot of shows more than in the summer, which is on the weekends. So we have still had time to do a lot of schoolwork when we're at home.
Now, there are some legal requirements when you do accounting and you take money in and you have to pay taxes and how did you approach that?
So we did talk to 2 accountants, and we got our Massachusetts tax ID, and we do have a business savings account.
And what are your goals? Now, you've got 10 stores. What are your goals that you'd like to project over the next 6 months to a year?
Well, just as like whoever is open to them, I don't know if we go more asking right now, but if people like want them, we'll think about it, and we'll grow our business to what it becomes. So whatever it becomes, it grows.
And again, from a marketing and a manufacturing point of view, and you're working together on this, who is the what we'll call the top executive that makes the final decision if there's a discrepancy or a debate over what should take place?
Oh,
well, that you, Taylor?
Yeah. Yeah, I keep them all in line. Well, I mean, we usually don't have any disagreements, which is nice. So, but if we have something, so if we need help on the design of a necklace and both of us are debating, like me and Caden don't know which one looks better, then we'll ask our mom or dad which necklace was good for people.
How long do you plan to work in this environment? How long do you plan to keep the business going? Is that going to follow you right through your educational process and in the college and what have you?
Well, we're not sure. So we're still going to keep up with our business, but we're not sure how long it'll take us. Hopefully we can create new businesses too and keep growing and expanding, or start a whole different other business. Like the boys are just starting a DJ business. Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. We talk about our youth, and we always worry about our future. But talking to the 4 of you, I can honestly say, without a doubt, that we don't have any worries about the future, because if you're an example of the youth going forward, and talking about small business, I congratulate you, each of you, and putting this together. And we are now going to talk a little bit with your parents and get their side of the story, but I want to welcome or thank each of you for being part of the show. And I am totally impressed with the roles and what you've accomplished. And I would encourage the audience to look at the website and to contact you and to take a look at your product. And I think it's magical, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We are now talking to the parents of Taylor, Caden, Jade, and Mason. And this is Chris, and this is Mark. Congratulations. That was a very inspiring interview with those 4 young people. Thank you. They become role models for everybody, young and adult. Yeah. Chris, I know that Taylor mentioned that they were homeschooled. Yes. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah. We're going into our 4th year. So prior to this, they were in a public school in Western Massachusetts. Taylor was in 6th grade, and Caden was in 3rd, and the twins were in 2nd. And after a lot of discussions and thought went into it, it's a huge undertaking. It's a huge responsibility to think that we're going to be responsible for not only their normal care of being parents, but also their education. Yes. So we pretty much talked about it for a couple years and really looked into all our different responsibilities and what was out there for us to be able to do and offer them probably for a year prior. And when we were ready, we said, okay, this is it, and took them out. So it's been a wonderful experience. I am very thankful that I have the opportunity to do this and to be around them so much and to follow them through their education. And I love learning, so I'm learning right alongside of them. So it's been great. And we travel and we do different things. So we have the ability to use different mediums. It's not just all lecture, it's not just books. We can go different places. I can, you know, we did a huge unit study on the government and then spent 2.5 weeks in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. So that kind of thing is, you know.
That's wonderful, and I congratulate you for doing that.
Thank you.
I mean, and seeing the result of
yes.
that, it speaks for itself.
Yes, they make it easy. They're great.
Mark, who do you work for? What company do you work for?
I work for Progress Software.
And what role are you there?
So I'm in sales.
In sales.
And financial services. Yep.
Do you have an entrepreneurial background?
I do. Way back when, started my own gaming company with some friends of mine.
Really?
Out of college, yes.
And where did that go, and how did?
We were able to successfully create a game and getting it on the shelves through Electronics Boutique and Babbage's at the time, I think, were the stores. So it was very exciting to do so. And then after a couple years, the company kind of dissipated and everybody went their own ways.
That's wonderful, though. So you were able to bring some of those philosophies and skills to the young children.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you see as your role in this product that they've developed in marketing?
Oh, support, running ideas by, giving different advice. But we really push to be encouraging, but allow them to make their own decisions, decide what path they want to go down, expand the product line, what they want to do and where they want to take it. Our goal of this, and when Chris did the unit study on business, and we talked about different styles of businesses, talked about investing, and then decided that not to do a paper business, but to create their own so they could live it. Because we felt that that is the best way to learn. And homeschooling has enabled us, as Chris was describing, to actually go out and experience the things, not just learn them from books. And to experience their own business, to learn really how to make your own decisions and the impacts of those decisions. So we just try really to encourage them and support them through there and give our advice, almost like consultants.
Sure.
But not be the final say. And let them come up with that final answer. And I think that they're learning so much more by doing so.
No, that's wonderful. And I think we all want to make sure that we protect our kids and we don't want them to fail at things, but there's a learning process in that. How do you deal with that as you see their business plan? Do you try to oversee, or do you just let them sort of make their own decisions?
Make their own decisions. I mean, really from investing in, there's been some different shows that have been come across that they could go and present, set up a booth and present their material, their goods and sell them. And they had to evaluate the cost of the show versus how many units they'd have to sell before they started making a profit. And we didn't make that decision for them. They wanted us to. It would have been easier if we did.
Sure.
But we just kept presenting them with the information and making them review the information so that they finally told us, we're not going to do that show because we feel we have to sell a lot in order to start making money. We're going to focus our energy over here. And they came up with that, through conversation, but we wouldn't make that decision for them.
And there is an allocation of time. We talked about it with the children.
Yes.
How do you manage that? Because you want them to succeed in the business, and the demands will probably increase if the business takes off.
Right.
And how do you balance that, and how do you guide them through this process?
I think that just overall in life, we try to come up with a good balance between work and play and education and everything, and try to constantly teach them that balance is important. And we do that just in our normal life, and with this we have had to do that. So there are times when we need to focus on this and do a big push because we're going to do a show, but then it's done and it's over with. But like Taylor was saying, this is still a product of their education.
Right.
So becoming and starting a business is huge. They have had the opportunity to, they presented at the Rotary Club and talked to maybe 40 or 50 business professionals there. So they're constantly learning about networking and linking and how it's all a layering effect. So it started with a book and a class, and it went to an idea, and then Kidco was born, and then what that has all become. So part of it is constantly doing it. So this is art and their art class, and they've expanded their line. So it was just necklaces in the beginning, and then they came up with, well, let's do different things. So they went to beach rock rings, and they did bracelets, and then they also created dog bling. So they've done something for their whole family. So we we focus obviously now that, once September hit, Taylor said we spent a lot of time on the summer with this, then we went right back into the school thing. But we're constantly learning now. They're doing different business books and a lot with investing. So they're doing a lot with that.
What's interesting, I noticed when I called,
Yes.
I talked to the children.
Yes.
And they set up the times.
Yes.
And they coordinated the whole effort.
Yes.
Which I thought was very impressive. And listening to this presentation, I can't think of a better start for our new program than to have Kidco and the presentations that they made. And again, I will congratulate both of you.
Thank you.
Because it's inspiring to listen to their story, and it's got to be inspiring for other young people. But it's also inspiring to listen to the parents and the philosophies and how you've made that work. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. Really
Very
appreciate
impressive.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.